the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act. And that is why the president will soon sign this historic bill into law. Second, we have the opportunity to shape how we work. And I'm talking about putting Americans to work in good union jobs. The AAPI community knows the power of unions, building on the tradition of the Filipino farm workers who organized in the 1960s to the fact that as of today, we know at least 10% of AAPI workers are represented by unions. And we are working, of course, to increase that number because it is about making sure that all workers have a voice in a way that we ensure they are paid for the value of their work and they work in a place that gives them safety and protection. I'm also talking about removing the barriers that make it harder for people to work. And that means lowering the cost of childcare and strengthening our care infrastructure for those with aging relatives. We were all raised to take care of our elders, to understand how much they deserve to have our respect and dignity. And so that is a priority for us because everyone who wants to work should have the support they need to support their family members, including their elders, and do what they need to do to work. Finally, we have the opportunity to shape how we vote. We have the opportunity to make voting easier, not more difficult, to lift up more voices, not fewer. And we must start by fighting against attacks on voting rights. And it is happening right before us in so many instances, in such a blatant way, and in an unapologetic way. So we must fight against those attacks. Since the start of 2021, more than 360 bills to restrict the right to vote have been introduced in nearly every state in the United States of America. Many of these bills specifically target vote by mail. And let's be clear about this, specifically target vote by mail, while 64% of Asian Americans vote by mail. In fact, in Georgia, in the state of Georgia, in the runoff election that just happened, which, by the way, changed the balance of the United States Senate so that now I'm the tiebreaker, well, nearly 34% of Asian Americans voted by mail compared to 24% of voters on average. So we must see these efforts for what they are. Let's be clear-eyed. They are an attempt to suppress the right to vote. And while we must be vigilant in defending the voting rights that currently exist, we must also do that and work to expand the right of all Americans to vote. And that includes urging Congress to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act and urging the Senate to pass the For the People Act and to send both to the president's desk for signature. And I want to be clear. As far as I'm concerned, voting rights is not a Democratic right or a Republican right. It is an American right. So let me end today where I began, with where I see us in terms of this new era that I believe we are in. I know this past year has been marked by pain, so much pain for so many, including, and in particular, members of the AAPI community, when we saw the targeting, when we've seen the hate, when we've seen the viciousness of it all. And we all see that. And as a member of this community, I share in that outrage and grief. And I believe we have an opportunity now to turn that pain into action, to turn that pain, that righteous anger, because of the injustice of it. We have an opportunity to turn that into power, into power. The work to transform our nation's future. And it is what I call American aspiration. It is the ability to see what can be unburdened by what has been. It is the determination not only to dream, but to do. It is the mission of the AAPI Victory Alliance. Thank you all again for everything you do, and may we all continue to aspire to what can be. May God bless you, and may God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. I would love to see if Senator Duckworth is here and we can bring her on stage for a quick conversation. Senator Duckworth, Senator Hirono, Senator Lujan, Natalie Reyes, and Stephanie Brown James. The Vice President gave us a stirring message, and it was, don't just talk, don't just think, feel the pain, but act. I think, Natalie, can you, I don't see Senator Duckworth yet, so perhaps we can begin with Senator Lujan then. Stephanie, would you start us off with Senator Lujan?
Be my pleasure, Shaker. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Stephanie Brown James, co-founder of the Collective PAC, the nation's largest organization focused on supporting Black candidates running for office on a local, state, and federal level. And it is indeed my honor to represent the senator from New Mexico, Senator Ben Ray Lujan.
Well, Stephanie, it's always an honor to be with you. And Shaker, thank you so very much. Now, I would yield to my senior senator, Senator Hirono. And with her,
go right ahead, Ben.
Look, Shaker, it's so monumental for us to be together today. And when the invitation was extended to many of us that have been so supportive of our colleagues and our constituents, the AAPI community, I think that's why you saw so many of us respond with a very heartwarming yes. To hear the inspirational words of Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm always inspired by her, whether it's hearing her speak to a large group or getting to have a conversation with her one-on-one. I've learned so very much from her. The honor that I've had also serving with Senator Hirono, not just now in the Senate, but also in the House. And Stephanie, what I appreciate about how you opened this up, not just the work that you have done, and Quentin have done as well, but the work of Natalie. I'm inspired by every one of you, Shaker, when the communities have come together to help elect more Black Democratic candidates, more Hispanic Democratic candidates, more AAPI Democratic candidates across America. I'm now proud to be part of the most diverse United States Senate that we have had, and really having our own mini tri-caucus. I very much look forward to the conversation today. It's an honor to be with each and every one of you. I congratulate you and I celebrate you for the accomplishments this year. And it's such an honor to be serving on behalf of the American people with the urgency that we have to be able to work with both Senator Duckworth and also Senator Hirono. And you saw that action when Mazie said we needed to come to the floor. And when Senator Hirono speaks, we listen and we act. And I want to thank her for her leadership. And such an honor, Stephanie. I look forward to the conversation.
Thank you. Senator Hirono, you should know that we deliberately switched it up so that we're all playing slightly different roles. I'm going to let Natalie introduce you.
Well, I'm happy to do that. What an honor. Good evening, everyone. Muy buenas noches a todos. I'm Natalie Reyes, President and CEO of Latino Victory. Latino Victory works to build Latino political power by supporting Latino candidates across this great country, including all 4 Democratic Latino senators. And today, obviously, Ben Ray Lujan here with us. Today, we are proud to join forces with AAPI Victory Fund and the Collective PAC. Latino Victory became the first national Latino organization in the country to endorse President Biden before the Nevada caucuses and the South Carolina primary, because we knew he would create an administration that represents our nation's rich, very rich diversity. Our decision was affirmed when Vice President Kamala Harris became the first woman to hold this position, and we are so honored to have her joining us this evening. Thank you, Vice President Harris, for your leadership, for blazing a trail for millions of Americans, especially women of color and immigrants. And of course, Senator Hirono, you've been there from day one, also being the champion for all of us. So with that, happy to present you. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Natalie and Stephanie and Shaker. And my friend Ben Ray, I'm so glad you joined us. You know, I want to thank the AAPI Victory Alliance because we're going to be focusing a lot on some policy issues for this portion. So I'm really glad to join you, and always good to hear from my friend Kamala Harris, who served on the Judiciary Committee with me, and we had, I would say we had quite the experience on that committee. I missed her. So at a time when there has been such an increase in hate crimes, totally unprovoked hate crimes against the Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders, apart from the pain of watching people from our community get attacked in unprovoked and vicious ways,